Hello everyone, myself Ami Mehta, and in computer network let us understand what is a DNS terminology or what is DNS. So in networking, DNS means domain name system. So domain name system is an internet service that translates domain names into IP addresses. So basically domain name system is doing conversion bit of a domain name into IP addresses. So because domain names are alphabetic, they are easier to remember for a human being, but the internet is really based on IP addresses. For example, it is easy to write any website, amazon.com, amazon.in, instead of writing the IP address of Amazon. So but basically internet is based on IP addresses. So one intermediator which is convert domain name into IP addresses, which is domain name system. Every time you use a domain name, therefore a DNS service must translate the domain name into the corresponding IP addresses. So for example, the domain name www.google.com might translate this domain name into the IP address, which is 198.105.232.4. So this is basically IP address of Google, but we user for user it is too much complicated to remember IP addresses of each and every website. So what we do, we simply remember the domain name. So domain name system convert this domain name into IP address. The DNS system is in fact its own network. If one DNS server doesn't know how to translate a particular domain name, it asks another one, and so on until the correct IP address is written. So again, domain name system is in its own network. So there are various servers are there. If one server does not know, then it asks to another server. Distributed database design is more preferred over a centralized design to implement DNS in the internet. Now there is two type of database design. One is distributed and one is centralized design. In centralized, it is a one common centralized server, and in distributed, the data is distributed in different servers. Now a single point of failure. So if the DNS server crashes, then the entire internet will not stop, just because we are using distributed database design. But if we are using centralized design, if the DNS server crashes, then the entire internet will stop. Second one is traffic volume. So today the internet is so huge, with millions of devices and users accessing its services from all over the globe at the same time. So a single DNS server cannot handle the huge global DNS traffic. But with a distributed system, this traffic is distributed and reduce overload on the server. So if there is a centralized single server and there are so many devices are requesting for the IP addresses, the traffic is very huge. But if there is a distributed system, there are different servers, so the traffic load is reduced. So that's why distributed database design is used. Distant centralized database. A single DNS server cannot be close to all the querying clients. So if we put the single DNS server in New York City, then all queries from Australia must travel to the other side of the globe, perhaps over slow and congested links, and this can lead to significant delays. So if we put a single centralized database, then there is also a distance issue. For example, if we put our single DNS server in New York City, then the queries from Australia that will have to travel a very long distance, and it might be very delays. So this can lead to significant delays. And the next thing is maintenance. So the single DNS server would have to keep records for all internet hosts. So not only would the centralized database be huge, but it would have to be updated frequently to account for every new host, because we all know that nowadays very day by day the users of internet are increasing. So there are very new hosts are created. So for that updation is required, and the centralized database is not enough for it. So a distributed hierarchical database is used for DNS. So this is a root, then the top level domains like .com, .org, .edu, .net. In .com again there are different second level domains, subdomain of parent, likewise. Okay, so in DNS a distributed hierarchical database is used. So domain name system is basically convert the domain name into IP addresses. Okay, what is socket programming with TCP and UDP? So basically in TCP UDP how we can use socket programming. So let us discuss it. So any message sent from one process to another must go through the underlying network. So process send messages into and receive messages from the network through a software interface called a socket. So the process which is send message and receive message from the network through a software interface, and this is called a socket. When a client reads a line from its standard input, which is keyboard, and sends the line out its socket to the server, and the server reads a line from its socket, the server convert the line to uppercase, the server send the modified line out its socket to the client, and the client reads the modified line from its socket and prints the line on its standard output. So let us understand this procedure through figure. So this is a host or server. Okay, now this is particular process which is controlled by app developer. The communication is internet. So in between process and TCP with buffer variables there is a socket. So the communication between this process which is controlled by app developer and this TCP is become done by this socket. Okay, so it is a reliable byte stream oriented. In TCP three-way handshake is already three-way handshake is happened in TCP, three sockets and streams. So basically this thing will happen in TCP. Let us discuss it. So first of all, what is server do? So server running on host ID create socket for port X for incoming request. So welcome socket is equal to server socket. Now it is wait for incoming connection request. Now in here client side it creates socket and connect to host ID which port is equal to X. So basically in this is waiting for connection request. Here request socket is created and client socket is equal to socket, and here connection socket is equal to welcome socket dot accept. So it accept the request. Now it send request using client socket and read request from connection socket. After that it write reply to connection socket and it read reply from client socket. At the end after this procedure it close the client socket and here also close connection socket. So this is the whole procedure is happened while the communication between client and server, in between TCP are there and the socket are present. Now while we are doing socket programming with TCP, it is reliable, it is a byte stream oriented, a three-way handshake is happened, 3 sockets are there and streams are there, that we understand by here. Now we are looking for socket programming with UDP. So there is no streams, no connection, datagram socket and individual packets. So let us see it. This is server running on host ID. Here it is client, create socket. So client socket is equal to datagram socket, and the create socket port number export is equal to X. So server socket is equal to datagram socket here, while in TCP there is already socket are present there. Okay, so there is not datagram socket. In UDP it is datagram socket. So it create a datagram with server IP and port is equal to X and sent datagram via client socket. So there is no three-way handshake. It directly send the request. So it directly send the datagram, and it read datagram from server socket, and it write reply to server socket specifying client address and port number, and again it read datagram from client socket and close the client socket. So in this there is no three-way handshake, and it is no streams, no connection, and individual packets are sent. Okay, so this is how we can do socket programming with TCP and UDP. So here we discuss important topic which is about socket programming with TCP and with UDP. Now let us discuss what is